Welcome to all the bold, courageous, and powerful women tuning in to Find Your Fabulous. I'm your host, Dr. Diane, and it's time to ignite your full power. Are you ready to embrace your talents and worth and unleash the wise goddess within? I've got the information, inspiration, and revelation you need to ignite your personal power so you can stop playing small and reclaim the passion and purpose that we all hold within us. Connect with other powerful spiritual women who yearn to be fully expressed. The world needs you. Full power. Let me guide you to find your fabulous and ignite your inner goddess. It all starts now on the Find Your Fabulous show. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Diane Garrison, and you are listening to Find Your Fabulous on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience the pathway to finding your fabulous. We have information, inspiration, and revelation to help you ignite your personal power and reclaim the passion and purpose we all hold within us. Today, I'll be talking to Dr. Rose Kumar, an integrative physician and expert on holistic health, about the real changes that occur when we experience prolonged or severe stress, the impact that it has on our mind and our body and on our spirit, and what we can do to help ourselves. So it's going to be a very juicy show. And we have Dr. Kumar here. Welcome, Dr. Kumar, and my producer, Stephen.
Thank you.
So let me first, before we get going into the juice, introduce Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose Kumar is a board certified in internal medicine with a focus on prevention, treatment, and reversal of numerous medical conditions. She is also a primary care provider for adults and a consultant for complex medical conditions. She has been practicing medicine for over 30 years and founded the Omani Center for Integrative Medicine over 24 years ago, and has provided quality care to over 70,000 people. Dr. Kumar is an expert in endocrine disorders such as thyroid and Hashimoto's disease, female and male hormones, and adrenal fatigue, which we'll probably be talking about today. She is a leading expert in bioidentical hormone balancing and has a nationwide patient base due to her expertise in resolving hormone imbalances in both women and men with safe, effective, and customized natural hormones. She is the author of Becoming Real, Reclaiming Your Health in Midlife, as well as the author of numerous articles and a blog. She is also a sought-after speaker and workshop leader. And Dr. Kumar is certified in plant-based nutrition from Cornell University and has expertise in food as medicine and the gut-brain connection. She also just happens to be my personal physician and a very trusted colleague. Welcome, Dr. Rose.
Thank you so much, Diane.
You're so welcome. So we're here to talk about stress on our health, but let's start by talking about your journey from a traditional medicine practitioner to integrative and holistic health. How did that happen for you?
You know, I've always known that I was going to go into medicine, I'm told, since I was 2.
Oh.
And that was my trajectory. So I grew up in India and we moved here when I was 16, and I was, just on fire to get into medical school. So anyways, I get into medical school, and in my 3rd year of medical school, when we were on the wards, I really started to notice that, patients were referred to as their diseases, the gallbladder in 3 and the colon cancer in room 4. And that just seemed very dehumanizing to me and very robotic. And I was more interested in the human experience, inclusive of why they were sick and how they got sick and how to make them well. So I started
Mm.
to spend a lot of time with my patients and really understand and ask them how they thought they were led to this place of illness. And most people knew, and they really had an idea of when a shift happened or what happened to them or how they dealt with stress or a stressor that came at them, and then they were never the same. So it's interesting that we're going to talk about this today, in terms of how stress affects physiology and our emotional well-being, because that has a huge impact on our mind, body, spirit.
Absolutely.
So I worked for corporate medicine for about 5 years and became fairly disgusted and repulsed by the greed that pervaded corporate medicine and did not like how physicians were being run and also did not like how patients were referred to as patient units in order to extract money from insurance or from them. So everything became kind of like squeezed through a tube. And I decided to leave and wanted to work in a system that had integrity and couldn't find one.
Oh,
So I created the Omani Center and have never looked back. And so, what I really wanted to do is create a system where, the holistic aspect of medicine is more patient-centered and evidence-based.
mm,
And to me, holistic is more incorporating the art of medicine, but not losing the scientific aspect of it because
right.
science keeps people safe. And because I'm a science nerd, I really enjoy learning about how the body works and what we can do to kind of really synchronize and align our system so that it can stay well or become well after it's ill. And so this is what I do at the Omani Center, and it works incredibly well for my patients. And I have incredible meaning in my life because I feel like I'm serving medicine.
Beautiful. I love it. So, what a great segue to shift into. We're here to talk about the impact of stress, kind of holistically, on our
Mhm.
health. So,
Mhm.
I'm sure you agree, Dr. Rose, that we are living in very stressful times.
Yes.
Really have been very significantly since COVID hit the world in about 2020. I saw as a mental health professional the world go insane. It really did. People's fear just exploded.
Mhm.
Then, since that time, we kind of come out of that. Then we're having these extreme natural disasters, military conflicts, Ukraine, Israel, several African countries, probably all over the world that I'm not mentioning. And then we slide into this extremely long, extremely divisive election system and season, and a new administrations whose policies and choices are creating much anxiety, fear, anger, and despair for many people.
Mhm.
I think it's pretty safe to say we have, for excess, especially these last 5 years, been living in very stressful times. And we're
Mhm.
here to talk about how this long-term stress impacts our health, mind, body, and spirit. Now, I understand the mental health piece, but let's talk about the physiology. What happens inside the body when we are exposed to a prolonged or chronic stress? Give us a stress in the body 101 tutorial.
Well, our adrenals are very familiar to people. People talk about adrenal fatigue, and these are two little organs that sit on top of our kidneys. And without them, we can't live. And adrenals produce stress hormones like adrenaline, cortisol, as well as DHEA and acetylcholine. And these hormones impact our stress response. Now, our gut needs to be mentioned here because our gut contains about 200 trillion organisms, bacteria that have evolved with us that whose primary purpose is to keep us healthy. And our
Mm,
gut bacteria produces all of our neurotransmitters. It has its own immune system. It produces dopamine, serotonin, GABA, these juices that keep our mood elevated, that keep us emotionally balanced, that help our memory, that help us wake up in the morning, go to sleep at night. They are just critical for our well-being and for
That's
the
why we
function
call it the second brain, right?
of the
Our
second
gut
brain.
is our second brain.
And so the gut, the adrenals, the nervous system, they all operate in sync with one another. And when we get a stressor that we can't control, or we feel overwhelmed, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And my life is at risk, or my well-being is at risk, or my livelihood is at risk, these systems go out of sync.
Yes.
So what happens, really, we want to talk about first the perception, because our perception, the filter through which we see a stressor coming at us, is a real critical entry point into the stress physiology in our body. And that's
Right.
something that you deal with all the time. People's filters create sometimes more stress in their body than the stress itself. And so it really is important for us to look at this integratively, because we have to also look at our filters. So what I would like to do is present the fight, flight, freeze reaction and how important that is in our survival, but how that gets over implemented and overused when we're under chronic stress.
Okay. Rose, let's pick that up. We're going to take a short break and let's pick up right there with the flight fight mechanism and go into that and how it functions in our body, and then the kind of symptoms and disorders and disruption it creates. So we're going to take a short break. You are listening to Dr. Diane and the Find Your Fabulous show. And when we come back, Dr. Rose and I will continue exploring this juicy topic. But before we break, Rose, how can our listeners reach out to you and get their hands on your book or get a consultation?
Well, they can call the Omani Center at 262-695-5311. And my website is www.omanicenter.com, OMMANI center.com. So they can send a message through there as well. And that's a good entry. My book is available on Amazon. I encourage people to buy it as a Kindle book, because I'm not sending Amazon my, hard copy books anymore. But you can buy this. It's most likely going to be used. And the subtitle is important: Reclaiming Your Health in Midlife. So that is the one that you want to be getting to read.
Beautiful. And for all things fabulous, including my coaching services and free empowerment resources, you can check out my website at www.fullpowerwomen.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Are you feeling pulled between the world of personal opportunity and your role as a caretaker? Who do you choose? You or everyone else? Well, you can have both. I'm Dr. Diane Garrison. My signature system, Find Your Fabulous, is a 4-month program which guides you to rediscover your passion and purpose. For more information or to book a free exploration call, visit fullpowerwomen.com.
Inside the Mind of Hiring with me, Dr. Mickey Feinberg, is a must-listen for hiring managers, HR pros, and job seekers. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio, the first and third Tuesday at 11, to discover the psychology of making smarter hiring decisions that shape successful teams and organizations. Dr. Mickey and expert guests will disclose the full hiring journey. For more info, visit deltaconsultants.com.
Tune in to Cosmic Conscious Vibration, Unlocking Your Inner Universe on the second Tuesday each month at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm Reverend Dr. Kimmy. Together with Dr. Pat, we are raising awareness about the significance of raising our collective vibration through living a more mindful and conscious life. For more, visit reverenddrkimmy.com.
You're listening to When Everyone Wins, where we're shifting power over and under to power within and between, with your host, Judy Ryan, on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in each second and fourth Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific as I share my knowledge from decades in workplace culture transformation and leadership development as the founder and CEO of LifeWorks Systems. Learn to create a life you love and help others do the same. For more information, visit lifeworksystems.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Diane, and you are listening to Find Your Fabulous. And we are talking, Dr. Rose Kumar and I, about the impact of stress on our health and well-being. In the last segment, Rose, you were just starting to explain about the fight or flight mechanism. So let's take it from there.
Okay. So let's just take a scenario where we're sitting in a cave and a bear is coming into the cave. So what do? Our body is designed to fight the bear or flee the bear, or we go into a freeze response. And that's not good for anyone. But these are the three responses that our limbic system or our survival system are programmed to stimulate when we're under stress. Now, we don't have bears and caves anymore. We have traffic, we have politics, we have COVID, we have divisive people, we have unkindness, we have, job loss, and name the litany of all the stresses. Every time a stress hits us, there is a fight-flight reaction. And what that does is it stimulates adrenaline production from the adrenals, and then our limbic system gets activated. And that system moves rapidly just to help us survive. It doesn't help us reason or think, it helps us survive and react.
Right.
And so when we have when we develop this mindset that I am under threat, or I am not safe, that limbic system doesn't turn off. And so when that happens, our executive function is not engaged. And so we're highly reactive and we're pumping out adrenaline all day. Well, the adrenals say, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me because it's a lot of work to produce adrenaline 2,000 times a day. So I'm just going to produce cortisol, which is a chronic stress hormone, and call it a day. And so what ends up happening is your cortisol levels rise, and the adrenaline isn't produced as much in these pulses every time you feel stressed. And so cortisol stays elevated. Another hormone that the adrenals produce is DHEA, too long to really explain what that is. But let's just say it's a hormone that is produced at high levels when we are young. It's a regeneration resilience hormone. And as we age, the DHEA level drops. If we're really, really stressed, the DHEA level is really high. And that can then convert into estrogen and other things that you don't want in your body, excesses of other hormones that are produced from DHEA that can lead you into some scary places physiologically. Now, if you have gone through an elevation of your DHEA and the stress isn't stopping and you're aging and changes are happening in your body and you're eating poorly and you're drinking alcohol and all those dysfunctional ways that we deal with stress, what ends up happening is the DHEA level starts dropping and the adrenals start burning out. This is what's called adrenal burnout. And when that happens, because DHEA is a resilience and a regeneration hormone, we start to age rapidly. And so we're degenerating faster than we're regenerating. That affects our memory, that affects neuroplasticity, the recovery of the brain, that affects our cell tissue, that affects how we look, affects our skin, affects everything. So one of the things that is important, back to the gut, is the gut also, when it produces all of these neurotransmitters, it populates a nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the main nerve of this nervous system is the vagus nerve. It's a very large nerve whose branches come out of our intestinal lining and take our neurotransmitters and take it up the highway into our executive function. Now, what is the parasympathetic nervous system relative to the stress response? Our stress response is part of the sympathetic nervous system. And the way we were designed is that if we're stressed, as the stress passes, we have to recover. And the parasympathetic nervous system helps our recovery. It floods our brain again. It floods our body with these good neurotransmitters. It helps recovery. It helps detoxify the stuff that we've produced that is kind of toxic to our physiology, the adrenaline, all the juices that our body produced while we were under stress. And the parasympathetic nervous system basically is our detoxifier. But it's also the synchronizer of our organs. It helps us with our sleep, and it's activated when we're sleeping at night. But we want our parasympathetic nervous system, we want to practice, like this is what meditation does. This is what exercise does. This is what eating a plant-based diet does. It creates a very healthy biome so that all those neurotransmitters are feeding that parasympathetic nervous system all day, every day, so that you can recover from stress rapidly. There's an Institute of Heart Math that was developed, created in California, where the creators of Heart Math were doing this breathing technique, very simple, for 5 minutes, and they found that it was helping people feel a whole lot better very quickly. So they took the technique to Stanford University, my alma mater, and they said, we want to do like a small pilot study on your ICU patients who are under stress and have arrhythmias, and do 5 minutes of heart math with them every day for a week. So they did this pilot study, and they found that these patients, their arrhythmias got better with these 5 minutes of heart-focused breathing. And so they took a deep dive to see, why does this work? And the reason it works is because your heart has electromagnetic frequency that's about 5,000 times more potent than your nervous system. And the heart has its own mind, because
our third brain.
It's our third brain. It's actually our first brain, probably, because it develops before our brain develops. So you hear the heartbeat when you get pregnant before everything else develops.
Fascinating.
And you can be brain dead and still have a heartbeat.
Right.
So what's making the heartbeat? Well, the heart has its own brain. And that brain is fed by the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're under stress and you do not know how to disengage the stress hormones or how to re-engage the parasympathetic nervous system, you are going to get sick. But if you can re-engage that parasympathetic nervous system, for example, through heart math, you can, during a stress response, do 5 minutes of heart-focused breathing and bring that parasympathetic nervous system online. So this gives people a lot of agency. This is something I teach at Omani, and you don't have to be my patient to come and do 3 sessions of heart math with me, where I monitor the resilience of your heart and the parasympathetic engagement. This gives people so much agency. Their sleep is better, their sense of well-being is better, they feel calmer, they feel more connected to their executive function, they can reason more and react less. And they have taken this and done multiple studies for 30 years, 11,600 patients with 60% reduction in depression and anxiety. They took it to the Lebanon refugee camps and taught it to 50,000 refugees who had massive trauma, and had amazing results with the monitors and even the subjective well-being that people felt just by doing 5 minutes of heart-focused breathing. So we have this inner pharmacy that we can access, and we need to develop techniques and methods and ways of being that really engage that part of ourselves so that we can live more from that heart frequency and more from that parasympathetic response than the fight-flight response all the time. So another piece of this, of course, is your lifestyle, because the microbiome dies when you are under stress. The microbiome dies when you are drinking alcohol. Alcohol wipes it out. The microbiome dies when you're eating ultra-processed foods and food colorings and all the garbage that we eat as Americans. And so we need to really start cleaning up our diet and eating more plant fiber so that this biome can proliferate and populate that vagus nerve that can stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system. So it's complicated, but not really. I mean, if you look at it from a simplified perspective, it really makes sense that we want to reduce the sympathetic drive and increase the parasympathetic drive. We want to reduce the reaction. We want to increase the response. We want to increase the calm, reduce the anger and agitation, and we want to oxygenate our body with plants, because that's what plants do. And then, of course, the hormone DHEA is worth checking. That is a hormone you never want to take over the counter. You only want to take that hormone if you need it under the guidance of a physician who knows what they're doing with DHEA. Because if you take too much and you're not monitoring it in your blood, you can get cancer or other hormone disruptions, and you don't want to do that yourself.
Right. You don't want to do that. Rose, we need to take another quick break. And when we come back, let's explore how these prolonged stress actually shows up in terms of disorders and dysfunction, mentally, physically, spiritually. And then we'll end the show with really giving people some exact things they can do to help themselves. All right, we're going to take a short break. But before we do, Rose, again, tell people how they can get a hold of you and all your goodness. And your book.
So, my phone number for the Omani Center is 262-695-5311, or www.omanicenter.com. The book is available under the book tab on my website or at amazon.com. I encourage you to get the Kindle book, because the paperback is not being published anymore unless you buy it used. There are 2 versions of the book. The version you want is Becoming Real, Reclaiming Your Health in Midlife. It's a companion and a friend through midlife and beyond that really teaches you how to navigate this very difficult, powerful time.
Beautiful. And to learn about my coaching services and free empowerment resources, you can check out my website at fullpowerwomen.com. And if you missed any information on this show or past shows, you can catch replays there. And if you have any direct questions, just email me at Dr. Diane at fullpowerwomen.com. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Are you feeling pulled between the world of personal opportunity and your role as a caretaker? Who do you choose? You or everyone else? Well, you can have both. I'm Dr. Diane Garrison. My signature system, Find Your Fabulous, is a 4-month program which guides you to rediscover your passion and purpose. For more information or to book a free exploration call, visit fullpowerwomen.com.
Did you know you can train your brain like you train your body? Tune in every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com to the Discover Solution Show, Autoimmune Warriors Embracing Joy each and every day. Autoimmune mental health coach Ryan Stellingwerf and Dr. Pat not only get you tips, tricks, and tools to help you embrace your wellness, but they will also share the experience with you. Don't put your life and your joy on hold until you feel better. For more information, visit discoversolutions.net.
Addiction and mental health issues are not life sentences. Tune in every fourth Wednesday at 12:30 Pacific Time on Transformation Network for Ask Dr. Louise. Keep following up. There is always hope and strategic solutions for you to become a stronger version of yourself while impacting loved ones with grace, compassion, and integrity. For more, visit allaboutinterventions.com or give Dr. Louise a call at 619-507-1699.
Discover the ultimate destination for personal growth and development with a one-stop shop on Zen and the art of NLP. A lot more success with a lot less stress on Transformation Talk Radio. Each Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, Dr. Stephen Simpson offers a unique blend of ancient and modern success stories, providing you with a comprehensive toolkit for achieving your goals. To book a personal session with Dr. Stephen, you can visit his website at drsteven.
Are you looking for a change in your life? Tune in every second Tuesday of the month at 11:30 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Lois Leonard and Dr. Pat share pearls gifted by mentors that will pull you up and support you through hard times. Life is meant to be joyful with lessons supporting our growth. Use the wisdom from these tools to cut the noise and go back to the basics. Schedule a discovery session with Lois. Visit timetosoarcoaching.ca.
Hello, this is Dr. Diane Garrison, and you're on the Find Your Fabulous show. And Dr. Rose Kumar and I are talking about the impact of stress on our health and well-being, mind, body, spirit. So Rose, let's unpack that more. What are you seeing in your office in terms of people dysfunction, disorder, distress due to this chronic and prolonged stress?
Well, I see a lot of autoimmune disease,
Yes.
which is directly related to stress. I see cardiac issues, hypertension, weight gain, hormonal disruptions, the gamut. Because stress is a risk factor for almost every disease that we have, including cancer, because what
Right.
stress does is when we're under chronic or prolonged stress, it's an immunosuppressant. And there's a certain immune cell that lives in our liver called natural killer cell.
Mhm.
And the natural killer cell is important for preventing cancer. It kills viruses, it kills bacteria, it kills cancer cells. Its job is to go through the body. There's 2 billion of them that live in the liver. And it's to look for things that don't belong in the body, bacteria, viruses, and cancer cells. If we're under prolonged stress, the natural killer cell activity is suppressed. If we drink alcohol, the natural killer activity is suppressed. If we eat toxic foods, lots of meat, saturated fat, if we have fatty liver, the natural killer cell function is suppressed. And with a suppressed natural killer cell, guess what you're going to get? And the other thing that happens is that when we're under chronic stress or even acute stress, the microbiome that I described before, it gets killed off. And what that microbiome is, it's good bacteria that populate our intestinal lining. And they're kind of centurions that monitor what gets absorbed in the body and what doesn't. So it allows nutrients to go in. It doesn't allow gluten to go in. It allows minerals and calories to go into the body, and it disallows food coloring, bad bacteria, bad stuff in your food. Now, if you're under chronic stress, or if you drink alcohol, or if you eat poorly, those bacteria are not going to thrive. Like a meat and potato diet, or a Wisconsin diet, or a standard American diet is not going to support your gut bacteria. And if they're not supported, the bad stuff overgrows, and that doesn't really care what you're absorbing. So a lot of the gluten issues started occurring not because gluten's a horrible thing, but because we're absorbing gluten into our bodies because our organisms were not healthy. And what ends up happening when, basically anything you eat is put into your bloodstream, your body has a reaction to that, and the immune system is constantly on to the point where it actually starts getting dysregulated. And that dysregulation creates, along with the suppression of the natural killer cells, creates the perfect environment for an autoimmune disease or cancer. So you can see, like, prolonged stress can contribute to immune dysregulation that contributes to the formation of cancer and autoimmune disease. And so, when I ask my patients that come in to see me after they've been diagnosed with breast cancer, what do you think happened? They always blame it on a stressor. I had such and such happen, and after that, I wasn't the same. And then I developed breast cancer. So it's really interesting to kind of connect back to, where the disruption happened and help them rebuild and sort of go back to that root time when they didn't have the skill set to deal with stress, to do self-care, to align themselves, to meditate, to do heart math, whatever it is that helps them cope with stress was not available to them. So they were just coping in the best way they knew how, but it didn't work. And something sprouted in the body because these systems got disrupted and dysregulated. Yeah. So this is sort of the underlying mechanism for a lot of our issues. Diabetes is another product of chronic stress, because when people eat comfort foods when they're stressed, a lot of those comfort foods are ultra processed, they're sugary, they are not nutritional, they're not nourishing to the body. And so the body's blood sugar mechanisms get overrun. And so that creates a disruption in the body's way of regulating blood sugar. Another cause of another disease or condition that is a result of stress is hypertension. Hypertension is a result because, you think about it, adrenaline causes your blood pressure to go up. So if you are under a lot of stress all the time, blood pressure will stay up because you're constantly producing stress hormones.
Right.
So, heart attacks are another result of a lot of stress, because that high blood pressure and then the adrenaline can cause micro tears in your arteries, and then your body tries to fix those tears and creates a clot or a plaque. And if you've eaten like a heavy saturated fat meal prior to it or after a stressor, you're going to plug up a vessel and create a heart attack. So, these meditative techniques, breathing, running, eating lots of plants, they actually dilate the coronary arteries and your vascular system, and they repair these inflammatory injuries to the body so that your blood flow can continue regularly, normally, and you can oxygenate your tissues, give your executive function some juice, and also do a lot of the repair work in your body that it requires, because we live in a stressful world right now, and most of what is going on is not in our control. Yeah. But what we do for ourselves is in our control.
Absolutely.
So part of it is learning the skills.
Right. Well, that's what
here you are.
I help people learn the skills. You know what
We're
I
the
see?
stress shamans.
Right? The stress shamans. When people walk in my office and they've had a lot of stress, some of the things I'm seeing, and it's very much relating to what you're talking about, is like all these digestive issues. They all complain about digestion. They're not eliminating regularly. They feel gassy all the time, the acid reflux things. And I know this is all because they've been under prolonged stress. Their whole gut biome is like completely imbalanced. And they may be eating okay, or they may be eating terribly, but it's more, or somewhere along the continuum, it's just they don't have that support in their gut anymore, right? And the other thing I'm seeing is disrupted sleep. They can't shut their minds off at night. They're not sleeping, and sleep deprivation creates a whole host of physiological and mental problems. I mean, you can go psychotic if you don't get enough sleep. So, you know, I'm seeing all these things but it's so related to what's happening in the physiology, because if you can't shut your mind off, then you're not be able to go into that sleep cycle and get you might be getting some light rest, but you're not getting that deep rest. You're not going into REM. You're not doing the things that you need to really restore and regenerate your body. I mean, that's what sleep is for. It's, we're restoring our body mentally and emotionally and physically, so that we can carry on the next day. So if you wake up the next day and you do not feel well rested, this is part of that whole chronic stress process again. And, that catches up with you. And when you're all stressed out and you're feeling poopy and your energy is crap, what do? You drink more caffeine. You grab for more sugary treats. You do whatever you do so you can carry on, and it doesn't help you heal or gain resilience. And, it's like
it's a reactive lifestyle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know for myself, when I'm stressed out or I have something big coming up, I do the night munching. After dinner, too close to bedtime, and I'm snacking. And even if it's healthy snacks, organic healthy snacks, it doesn't matter. It's like I'm messing up my own process. So we are about at the time to take our last break here. And then when we come back, Rose and I are really going to start talking about what you can do about this. What are the changes little by little you can make in your life so that even if you can't control the outside stressors, they're there, right? But you can control your attitude towards them, your mindsets, and you can control your self-care. And we're going to dig into that in our last section. So we'll be right back. But before we go, Rose, one more time, tell us how we can get a hold of you, get a consultation, get your hands on your book.
You can call 262-695-5311 or www.omanicenter, OMMANI center.com. And you can set up an appointment either way. And if you'd like my book, get the book that says Becoming Real, Reclaiming Your Health in Midlife. And that book is the one that you want to be reading. It's a beautiful guide and friend for the middle of your life and beyond. It kind of walks you through this whole difficult and very powerful process that we're in, that starts sometime in your late 30s, as a matter of fact, till the rest of your life.
Good point. And for all things fabulous, including my coaching service and free empowerment resources, check out my website at fullpowerwomen.com. And always, you can reach out to me at Dr. Diane at fullpowerwomen.com or through the website. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with some good self-care tips. Are you feeling pulled between the world of personal opportunity and your role as a caretaker? Who do you choose? You or everyone else? Well, you can have both. I'm Dr. Diane Garrison. My signature system, Find Your Fabulous, is a 4-month program which guides you to rediscover your passion and purpose. For more information or to book a free exploration call, visit fullpowerwomen.com.
My new variety show takes you into aliveness with ancient wisdom, groundbreaking practices, and playful guidance. Create vibrant health, inspiring relationships, delicious sensuality, and flowing chakras, and maybe even enlightenment. It's fun, quirky, and deep. You'll find me, Dr. David, here on TTT every second and fourth Monday, noon Pacific.
Tune into Transformation Talk Radio for Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons bringing you full circle. Bryn Blankenship will help you to begin to explore the deeper part of yourself in connection to your soul and your spiritual team. She will discuss the spiritual realm from the perspective of past lives and afterlife regression and the soul lessons gained by clients during their spiritual regression sessions spanning the past 20 years. For more information, visit brynblankenship.com.
If you're looking to create more joy, energy, fun, and good health in your parenting, especially if you have a personal or family history of cancer, I invite you to tune into the Intentional Wellness Parenting Show every third Tuesday of each month at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with me, Orally Cormier, and Dr. Pat will help you to create healing and wellness every living day. We want you to succeed, and this show will help you do just that.
Hi, it's Dr. Diane here on the Find Your Fabulous show, and I am here with integrative physician Dr. Rose Kumar, and we've been talking about the impact of chronic, severe, and prolonged stress on our health and well-being, mind, body, and spirit. So let's start talking now about what people can do to gain resilience, protect themselves, or heal from a period of chronic stress.
Well, the body is very forgiving to a point, and it needs some very simple choices to restore and to correct. The first choice is, we know that there's been thousands of articles on the impact of a Mediterranean diet, which is a plant-heavy diet, and that would be a really good place to start. And what a plant-heavy diet does is it alkalinizes your blood. Cancer cells do not like an alkaline environment. That actually helps restore your brain. It helps restore your bone density. And it does lots and lots of beautiful things to your gut microbiome, because the gut microbiome, it grows and lives off of plant fiber. So it's very happy. And when that's happy, your brain is happy. So it's going to produce lots of very vibrant neurotransmitters if you eat plants. The other things plants do is they increase the amount of nitric oxide that is in your body. And nitric oxide is a tissue regeneration gas that your body is wired to produce. If you eat a standard American diet, you don't produce that much nitric oxide. If you drink alcohol, you're not producing nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is regenerative. It increases the lumen of the vessels, so blood flow increases, oxygenation increases, and you stay younger for longer, and you regenerate a lot faster. So this is really important for post-COVID, because a lot of the post-COVID mental fog is because your brain is not regenerating. You don't have the microbiome to supply your nervous system with neurotransmitters. And so changing the diet is really helpful, and taking a broad spectrum probiotic. And again, don't get it over the counter. Don't get it from the refrigerator of your health food store. Talk to somebody who's skilled in what probiotics you should take, because people are making their own decisions about what they need, and they end up disrupting their microbiome, or getting bloated, or getting the wrong stuff, or stuff that's inactive. So those are some of the ways to get started, is to just start making tweaks in your diet.
Eat your fruits and veggies, which our mothers have been telling us for generations.
And make your plate half of it has fruits and veggies, mostly veggies. A quarter has your protein, like a plant protein, such as lentils, beans, chickpeas. Those are excellent sources of protein, and they also are the foods that increase nitric oxide in your body. If you're going to have a piece of meat, try not to have it be red, have it be chicken or wild-caught salmon, and have it be a small portion, not a large portion, because that negates or neutralizes some of what the plants are going to do in your body. And people that are plant crazy, a lot of nutritionists are telling people, you need protein, you need 100 grams of protein a day. That is horrible for your body. It's not good for your kidneys. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for any part of your body. I don't know where that came from, but it's not working for people. So, a plant-heavy diet, Mediterranean diet. Another lifestyle choice that is really critical is exercise. That doesn't mean you have to join a gym or work out 1-2 hours a day. 30 minutes a day of walking, power walking, lifting weights a few times a week, but doing something every day for 30 minutes stimulates the liver, stimulates your microbiome, oxygenates your body, helps your mental well-being, helps your mental health, and you're doing something for yourself. So you feel good about yourself, that you're on a roll.
And I get these exercise phobic people, and I tell them, it's healthy movement. Think of it as healthy movement. Just put on your favorite music and just move your body for 20 minutes. Just dance around, get your kids involved, dance around the room, dance around the house, dance while you're folding laundry. It doesn't matter. It's like people get, like, oh, I don't like sweating. I don't like going to the gym. And it's like, no, it's just moving your body, because correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we need to move our body to keep our lymph system moving,
absolutely
doing what it needs to do for all our health processes?
Lymph needs to be pumped. That's the best way.
It doesn't have a pump, so we pump it through our muscles, right?
Yeah, through our muscles, and the muscles need movement or they atrophy.
Yeah.
So we really want those two things. If there's anything that you can do for yourself, those two things are a good place to start, and start eliminating alcohol, especially in midlife. The midlife
in Wisconsin.
Yeah, the midlife body cannot handle it.
No,
and alcohol is a carcinogen. It's a neurotoxin, and it destroys your microbiome. And that's becoming more commonly known now. People are talking about this now. So, these habits that we've normalized are not working for us. And we don't want to age with chronic disease, and it's completely preventable.
Right. And, alcohol has been made a societal cultural mainstream because the alcohol industry wants to make money off of you, not because it really enhances.
And it's addictive. I mean,
in any way.
Yeah, it's addictive. It's habit forming. It's associated with relaxation. All the things, it's like the associations with alcohol are not healthy.
Right. I've had a really hard day. I'm going to have a glass of wine now.
Yeah, right. That's
I hear that over and over.
Your biome shot.
Yeah.
So,
and if people come in to see me, two things that they're always going to get is to learn how to do basic meditation. And by that, I mean deep breathing, very much like the heart math stuff. They're going to learn how to do deep breathing. And they're always so surprised about how powerful just 3 minutes of closing your eyes and breathing using your whole lungs versus the little tiny bit we normally use works. And then I teach people self-compassion, because we talk about self-love in this culture all the time, but nobody's ever taught us how you do that. And especially for women, if we focus on ourselves, we're called selfish. And so even though we are all queens of compassion for others, it's like all we have to do is learn how to flip the focus onto ourselves, and all that wonderful love, high vibration energy gets to be received by our very own self. So those are two things that everyone that I work with, no matter what they come in with, gets a taste of, because I think, in order for any of this work, even to get your lifestyle changes to work, you have to be kind and gentle with yourself, your
Exactly.
own best friend, a coach, cheering yourself on versus being critical. Ah, you messed up today. No, oh, that was one little slip. We're right back on the horse again. So this
Right.
gentleness, this kindness, self-compassion, and a lot of deep breathing every time something tweaks you, like a headline or whatever. All you have to do is take a few deep breaths and you can switch from sympathetic nervous system into parasympathetic. It's a
Parasympathetic, exactly.
beautiful function of our body built in
Yeah.
there by design, but we
Yeah.
don't know how to use it.
Yeah. Nobody's taught us. I mean, I don't use the word love or self-love in my practice because I find that's a very tricky word for women. I use the word nourishment. What nourishes you? What can you eat to nourish yourself? Women are able to more relate to that word. I mean, and it's sad because we know how to love other people, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's really love. We could have a conversation about that, but it's really important to, bring consciousness to the choices you're making in your
Absolutely.
self-narrative, how you talk to yourself, how you shame yourself, how you love yourself, how you nourish yourself. What do you say to yourself? Do you give yourself some space just to be? Do you allow yourself to do self-care? Do you even allow that? Or is there self-loathing is taken over?
Yeah.
It's a huge problem for women. And
It
so I think,
absolutely is. That's what my
yeah, that's your
empowerment coaching
life
is
work.
absolutely
Yeah.
all about learning how to take all those
Yeah.
caretaking, nurturing, compassionate skills that you give to others without thought and turn the focus onto yourself. And of course, there's that resistance of the cultural training where we don't want to do that. But I love
And
that term, Rose, of self-nourishing. And guess what? We have nourished ourselves to the end of this show.
Yeah. One short thing I would like to say is in midlife and beyond, women's hormones, when their hormones get depleted, it's harder to do self-nourishment and it's harder to, feel the parasympathetic response. So balancing hormones is another aspect to being able to deal with stress better. And so that's another thing that you can certainly see me.
Personal testimony here. It works. Rose, we have to wrap up on our show today. Tell the folks one more time how to get your book, how to reach you.
You can call 262-695-5311 at the Omani Center or email through the website www.omanicenter.com, OMMANI center.com. There's a tab on the website for my book. You can also get it, and that leads you to Amazon. And the book is called Becoming Real: Reclaiming Your Health in Midlife. And that is the one that you want. It is on Kindle and it is also available used as a paperback.
Beautiful. And to learn more about my coaching services and free empowerment resources, if you're ready to learn how to nourish yourself better, please check out my website at fullpowerwomen.com or reach out to me directly at Dr. Diane at fullpowerwomen.com. I want to thank my guest today, Dr. Rose Kumar. She's a repeat guest for me for sharing such great information. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in to the Find Your Fabulous show. As always, I had a wonderful time. I want to share with you that this is my last show, at least for a while, but you can sign up for my weekly blog or tune into many shows on my website at fullpowerwomen.com. And what I wish for all of you, as always, is go find your fabulousness. You deserve no less. Bye. Host, Dr. Diane, and you have been listening to Find Your Fabulous. It's time to ignite your full power. Tune in every first and third Monday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time on Transformation Talk Radio for information, inspiration, and revelation to ignite your personal power. Connect with other bold, courageous, and powerful women who are ready to stop playing small and reclaim the passion and purpose that we all hold within us. The world needs you, full power. To find your fabulous and ignite your inner goddess, visit fullpowerwomen.com.